Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the private servers. We're level 33 with our Scrapper. And I wanted to do something today. I wanted to talk a little bit about merit rewards and also talk about, unfortunately, Went the Worst is right there so we can look at it. I also want to talk about recipes and which sorts of recipes we might want to um, create and how we're going to enhance our powers with invention enhancements. Gosh, I have a whole bunch of enhancements. So I did a one of my group mates. The role play was that his character got kidnapped, and our group leader, Nina, I don't know if she's online. She's not, so let's do the names. Our group leader, Nina Nightcraft, and the player who was doing the who got kidnapped, and I believe it is, where is antivirus? I guess it's not a member of the supergroup, but the person who was kidnapped was Catastrophe Kitten, right from the middle of a supergroup meeting, and the role play was that the Circle of Thorns had kidnapped him, and then Nina and I think the other player went into the architect editor, the mission architect, and they created a mission, and we went on this just insane 8-person mission where we just fought two arch villains, and I got a badge for doing that. Let's see, the assassin. I defeated my first custom enemy during a published architect mission, and Workaholic because I did a non-required mission objective. That's one of them did it, and Thrill Seeker because I went to the mission architect. So I got a bunch of new badges for that. Anyway, what I wanted to do was talk about enhancements. So right now all we have is our regular enhancements, and we don't need to worry about enhancement sets until we have 6 slotted our powers, right? Because the way enhancement sets work, and you'll see this, is they don't enhance a single thing. They enhance multiple things. You might get a damage recharge enhancer. So instead of doing 33% damage, it'll do 20% damage and 20% recharge. Now, when you add all 6 of them up, as I'm going to show you, it's actually better than single origin or generic enhancements. And they also have some bonuses that are extra. But if you only have 3 or 4 slots, they're not as good because you're better off just with the big single enhancements. Once you start getting into 5 and 6 slots on your powers, then they become worth it. And one of the reasons the developers did this is because so there's sort of a chain of events. First, when the game came out, there were no limits on enhancements, right? So you could put 6 damage in this, and it would do 200% damage, right? Each one was 33% times 4. And so what people had done was in these pools, they took a power called Hasten. And when you clicked Hasten, it put a single origin enhancer, basically, like an extra. It added recharge speed as if you had a single origin recharge enhancer on every power that could recharge. So people took Hasten, and what they figured out was with Hasten, if they 6-slotted Hasten, right, which was meant the recharge time was reduced by, instead of by half, by like 200%, right? So instead of recharging in 2 minutes, it was recharging in like 40 seconds. When it did that, they were able to loop it, right? So just like with Practice Brawler, I have this on control click and it automatically refires as soon as it recharges. It's not doing it now, but it's supposed to. It's about to. And I was able to, with 2 slots, with 2 rechargers, make it permanent, okay? And so it basically recharges the second, as soon as it recharges, it's still going and it overlaps, right? They were able to do that with 6 slotting Hasten, 6 slotting single origin recharge enhancers on Hasten, gave you the ability to control click it, and your Hasten was permanent. This permanently gave a recharge enhancer to every single power in the game, right? And you just heard Practice Brawler trigger. And you can see how it's overlapping because the second one is flashing. So, what that did was it meant that people did not have to put recharge enhancers on any of their powers. Then, if you took something like Focus Chi and you 6-slotted that, right? With 3 slots, we're down to about 46 seconds. With 6 slots, you'd be down to something like 30 seconds. And then with Hasten, you're down to maybe like 20 seconds or whatever. And it lasts 10 seconds, right? And so I think what people are able to do was get, with the right combo, they were able to get this almost permanent, right? And that gives you a huge buff to your accuracy. So then they didn't need to put an accuracy enhancer on their powers because Focus Chi or Build Up or whatever it is was permanent. They didn't have to put a recharge enhancer on their powers because Hasten was permanent. They 6-slotted Stamina. They didn't have to put an endurance reducer on their attack powers because Stamina was 6-slotted and was recovering so fast. Your endurance was recovering so fast. So what you actually had people doing was Perma Haste, Perma Build Up or Focus Chi, Stamina with all the, and then 6-slot damage in every single attack power. And they were doing massive amounts of damage and just wiping the whole missions just so easily. And on top of that, in those days you couldn't change the mission difficulties. So you get into the 30s, and as you can see already with my character, without doing all of that sort of min-maxing, already my character it just blows through yellows, no problem. And you could only get whites. And so you had, what people were doing was they were inviting 5 people, 6 people into a group, spawning a mission, dropping everybody from the group. I mean, it was done cooperatively. And then they would be soloing like an 8-man mission, and it was just not what the developers intended. So the first thing they did was they did enhancement diversification, and what that did was basically they nerfed all the enhancements. And they made it so that once there's this sort of like asymptote of about 100%. So no matter how many enhancements beyond the third one you put, right, each one of these is 34%, but if you look at the total, it's not 34 times 3, because that would be like 102%. It's only, if you look at the damage, the first one, average damage, is only 96% buff, if you look in that parentheses, right? That's because as you get closer to 100%, it scales. So if you add another one, it would only get you to like 100% maybe with the fourth one, and then with the fifth one it'd be like 102, and with the sixth one it'd be 103. So it's really not worth putting more than 3 of the same enhancement on here, and they did this with the defenses and everything else. So that meant that people had to spread it out. There's no point to putting more than 3 stamina because we're already almost at the limit. No point to putting more than 3 in health. No point to putting more than 3 in agile. No point to putting more than 3 recharges on Focus Chi, although you could put the 2 hit buffs on here if you wanted. No point to putting more than 3 damage, and so forth. So what they did was that diversified the enhancements, right? So people were doing this whole variety. But then it also meant, and this was an unintended consequence, I think, for something like dodge, I had no reason to put more than 3 slots in dodge. I have no reason to put more than 4 slots in focus senses, right? 3 slots in health, 3 slots in stamina. And so what people started doing was like, well, there's no point to adding the slots to their defensive powers. So then you started with a glut of slots, right? Everybody had 6 slotted all their attacks and 3 slotted their defenses, and they're like, I don't have anything to do with my slots, when it doesn't seem that way now because we've only been getting 2 slots every other level. But now when we start getting 3 slots out of 2 out of every 3 levels, 6 slots basically every 3 levels, we're going to start getting so many more enhancements per power, that so many more slots per power, that we're not going to need the slots. And I mean, even with enhancement diversification, by the end of the game, I had triple slotted like Super Jump and Swift because I just didn't need the slots anymore by the time you get to like level 47, 48. And so then they said, okay, well, when we make these enhancement sets, right, like these, what we're going to do is we're going to give them bonuses if you have them all, right? So if you look at Critical Strike and we hover over it, so Critical Strike does accuracy damage, and if you read the white text, it does 22% accuracy and 22% damage bonus, right? Which makes it a little better than a DO. Like, it's like 2 DOs almost, a little bit better. And that's at this level. These things scale per level. This is 36th level. If you ran it down to like 18th level, you'd see it was less of a bonus, but they scale as you level. But then if you look down in the gray, underneath where it says Set Critical Strike 6, right? Enhancement set category, Scrapper archetype sets, right? And then they show you the different set ones, which are these, right? And then look at underneath at set bonus. If you have 2 of these slotted together, your recovery will increase by 2%. If you have 3 of them slotted together in the same power, you'll get an accuracy bonus of 9% on all your powers, right? If you have 4 of them slotted in the same power, you'll get some defense, and if you have 5, you'll get some damage bonus, and if you have 6, you get improved recharge bonus, and that's pretty juicy. And so what they did was, okay, this makes me want to 6-slot my power and put all 6 of these in, right? Because it gives really good bonuses that you can't get any other way. And then if you look at the defensive sets, you'll see that a lot of them are 5 or 6. And so that makes you 6-slot your defenses, even though you normally wouldn't, because you get the bonuses and you want the bonuses. Right? That's sort of the idea. So we're going to look here at what ones do we want to do. Well, if we look at our archetype origin, we can only do the scrappers. There's critical strikes and scrapper strikes. And it's really hard to do the math on this because this one does accuracy damage bonus, this one does damage recharge, this one does accuracy damage recharge. Well, if you added it all up, would it be better than SOs? So the answer is yes, and I have done a little spreadsheet. Let me zoom this in. Why is this not zooming in? Here we go. Zoom this in a little bit. Okay, so if we're going to look here at critical strike and scrapper strike, these are the 2 scrapper ones. The first one does 22% accuracy damage. The next one does 22% damage, 22% recharge. The next one does 18% damage, accuracy damage recharge, and so forth. If you add these 6 up, and then the last one does 15% recharge and then increases your crit chance. And I have some notes here. You get small defense to heat and cold. You get 3% damage, 8% recharge, 9% accuracy, and 2% recovery if you slot the whole set. If we had SOs, we would have at most 33% accuracy, recharge, and endurance reduction, and 99% bonus to so 33% bonus to accuracy, 99% bonus to defense, 33% accuracy, and endurance, and 33% recharge reduction. If we slot the set, we don't quite get as much. We get about as much damage bonus, but we get more accuracy bonus, more endurance reduction, and way more recharge. And then we get the set bonuses. And the same is true for Scrapper Strike, which is the other archetype one. The only difference is we get a change to the health rather than recovery. We get resistance to lethal and mez and some defense to melee. So these are actually 2 sets that are well worth getting. So why don't I have them already? Well, first of all, because they cost 100 merits each, and I only have 586. So it's going to cost 600 merits to buy one set of these and another 600 to buy the other. So we're going to need to earn some more merits. But we can also go to Wentworth's, okay? And you can see that there are other sets. And I'll just quickly show you these. I really didn't intend this to take this long, but I think it's worth doing. So you can see there are other sets. And so if we... Oh, I sold that, and I didn't sell that, so we can get rid of that. So if we look at the enhancements, not enhancements, let's look at the recipes. And we look at... melee damage. So now I've looked at a few of these, and we'll go back to the here, and up here I've found 3 that I thought were worth it. Let's look at crushing impact. This gives a 7% accuracy bonus when you slot everything. So that'll be on top of this 9%, so we're going to be very accurate. That one, if we look in here, where is it? Crushing impact, right? So these are all the bonuses, and you can buy it for various different levels. Right, this is 50th level, but you can also get it at 30th level. So I did the math on the 30th level ones. Doesn't really matter, just to see how it works. And again, you get much higher accuracy damage, endurance, and recharge totals than you get with SOs, and you also get an accuracy and a recharge bonus on it, I believe. Right? And so smashing lethal resistance, health, accuracy, recharge time, and mez resistance. So these are worth getting, but they cost a lot of influence to get. All right, if we look at this recipe, let's see, at level 30, it costs 51,000 to, up to 100,000 to just buy the recipe. And then to get the ingredients for the recipe, you know, this one alone might cost like 300,000 to get. So we're not going to be doing that until later. There's no point to doing it until we have 6-slotted all our powers. And I'm probably going to put Critical Strike on this and Scrapper Strike on this, and then I'll put the other sets on these guys. Now there are other sets you can get for defense and so on and so forth. I'm not going to get into all that now, but that's just sort of, that's kind of how that works. I'm going to go sell off all these enhancements because we have too many. Also, we have quite a bit of influence. Whoops, I'm going the wrong way. We have quite a bit of, sorry guys, I'm going the wrong way. Too busy talking. We have quite a bit of influence because in that mission that I was talking about where we're fighting arch villains and stuff, I turned off experience gain. As you know, I'm trying not to gain experience too fast. I probably would have gained like 2 levels in that mission if I hadn't turned off XP, because archvillains are worth so much XP. And it was a really long, hard mission fighting a lot of reds and purples. But, so we now have 7 million influence. I think we had like 6.2 million or something when I started that mission, and you can see I got almost 200,000 just from selling those things off. We also got a bunch of salvage, including some orange that we can get rid of. But we may need to start keeping some of the orange because those are what we're going to need to use to make those better enhancements with the recipes. We're not going to worry about that right now. Instead, we've got to work on our contacts. So we finished Jenny Firkins, but we're on Jose Escalante, right? And the next mission, remember, we're working on the Vampiri. And he says, I've talked to everyone I know about the Council. They raid on Alderweir's genetics and this vampire progenitor they've created. I wish I had better news. All I was able to find out is that the genetic research data Alderweir generated was transmitted to a single Council base. Trouble is, I don't know which one. I need you to hit the streets and interrogate the Council. Okay, so we're going to need to go to Brickstown, which is probably the easiest place to find Council. So, train station is where? There we go. Wentworth is close enough. And we'll hit the train station, and now we're going to go to Brickstown and defeat. I'm surprised it's only defeat 10. At this level, usually it's like defeat 30 or 35. I wonder if they redid it. People are complaining. I doubt it. Maybe just got lucky. So this is a level 30 to 35 zone. We should be able to find Council fairly close to this train station that are around our level, maybe blue or green to us. We're just going to take them out super fast. Cray. We should find Council around here, though. Usually. Cray. Really not a fan, as I've said many times, I'm really not a fan of these go around the streets and hunt for guys missions, right? It's just, to me, this is just time wasting. There's Council. Alright, so here we go. And the thing is, like, if you've got to do like 30 of these, and you've got to spend all this time jumping around looking for them, it's just such a pain. And I don't mind 10, but when you're like 40th level and you got to go find 40 carnies or whatever, that's just, I never did like that aspect of this game. I mean, I love City of Heroes. I absolutely love it, and I've been having a ball playing it. But I'm just not a fan of having to jump around all over the place or fly around looking for exactly the right villain in exactly the right zone. Those are Cray. Sometimes even worse, it's in one section of a zone. So if you go out of that section, they're there, but they don't count. And I've just never been a fan of that. So we gotta defeat 5 more. There's 2 here, and then we just gotta find 3 more. Since spawns usually come in at least groups of 3, we should be alright. As soon as we find the last 1 more spawn, basically. Now that's Council, but they're 38, so we're not doing that. Prisoners. Prisoners here, we're getting kind of close to the ziggurat. Oh, I need a super jump. The ziggurat is the giant prison. shows over there. Freak shows. Cray. Freak show. Let's come back. I feel like they're more on this side. Cray. Freak show. Freak show. See, this is why I don't like this, because you gotta go all over the place. Cray. 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 And it doesn't help when other people are out here hunting them too. Prisoners. Yeah, Purple Council. That's of no use to me. This could be where I get fed up and just go to Independence Port and take out a bunch of Grey Cons, because it doesn't matter. Yeah, down here there's too many prisoners over here. We gotta go over to the left, I think, to the west. I'm done. I'm going to Independence Port and I'm just gonna beat up a bunch of Grey Cons, because I don't have the patience for this. This is just, oh wait. Finally. Alright, here we go. And there's gonna be 2 instead of 3. That's just, I love that. So now I'm still gonna have to go to Independence Port to look for one more guy, right? That just annoys me. But I'm not seeing any here. That's Cray. Alright, I'm going to Independence Port. I know there's a bunch of council there, and I'll just beat them up there. I can't be bothered to deal with this. As usual, not a fan of these missions. Even 10 I couldn't find in Brickstown. I don't know. Usually there used to be a lot of them in that area, but it seems like they're all Cray this time. I don't know if they've changed it or what. But I know there are council up here. On this bridge. There. Right there. Done. Bye. I'm not worrying about aggroing them because it's Independence Port and people in here can defend themselves. Alright. Oh, great. Now wait a minute. Now we got to defeat 15 more council. So here we go. This is why this is what I don't like. So now I got to wander around and defeat a bunch of Grey Con council. At least it'll be quick. So that was 10, that's 15, and then there's going to be 25. Right? I'm sure the clue said you didn't find anything, right? So what did the clue say? Alright, I'll talk. I know it's Archon so-and-so ordered it. If you're looking for him, you have to find him. So now we gotta keep going. That's 5th column. There's council. Oh, I don't care. The rest are 5th column. There's council. Are you guys all council? Oh, that helps. Focus Chi. Spin. There we go. That is awesome. And they all run away when they're too gray. Ah, I got ambushed. Excellent. Alright, that'll finish it. And then it'll ask me to do more. Watch. Because the rule of thumb is they usually ask you, great, fell off. They usually ask you to do... Yep, and there's 20. So it's just as bad as I thought. They just hit it from you. Right, so when you add it all up, it's 45 that you have to fight. Now the ambush does help you. But having to fight, having to look for 45 of these guys. I'm glad I was ambushed, because that helps. Alright, smack this guy around. $13 to go. There's a council, let's kick him. Okay, more council over there. I don't need these. Okay, let's AoE these guys. Okay. It's fifth column, fifth column, fifth column. Council right there. Just fight this guy. Okay, takes care of him. Oh, is this another ambush? Excellent. Or what's left of that ambush, maybe? Perfect. Alright, well, I'll give them this. They at least ambushed me with about 10 of them, so that helped. But that's just really annoying. This whole thing. Where you're fighting, we have to look for that many. Are you shooting me? Goodbye. I love kicking guys off the building like that. There's council. I need 6 more. We'll get 2 right here. Dragon's Tail. Focus Chi. I'm trying to one-shot him, but I guess not. One-shot at that guy. Okay. There's more council. We see how many more of them there are here than we were able to find in Brickstown, so it's like, alright. Council. Why do you have to be alone? Can't you be a full spawn? Sue. Family. Family. Freak show. Family. Let's head back this way. Council. Oh, let's hurry up and attack. Now these are 5th column. And that's 5th column. Get them up. Come on, give me a council. One more, right there. Where is he? Right there. Okay. Alright, we got another clue. Clean these guys up. Alright, we got another clue. So we can call Jose. And he says, you really did it, Silver Phoenix. Now that we know the location of the base, we can recover the genetic research data that was taken from the genetics company. Alright, so we're going to do that next time because we spent a lot of time talking about enhancements and stuff, so we're going to need to deal with that later. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope the discussion on how the enhancements work was interesting, and I'll be back with another episode in the near future.